Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to today's session. Today we will go for paper 6 2025 ON variant 3. Let's go. Question 1. A student uses the apparatus in figure 1.1 to show that water is formed as one of the products when a fuel is burned. The gases produced when the fuel is burned and passes through the apparatus using a suction pump. We want to collect water. Then they ask us to identify the item used labeled in W. W is funnel. When the fuel is burned, the steam produced passes into U-tube. Suggest why the U-tube is surrounded by ice. Ice is cold, so it can condense the vapor or condense the steam. If you don't want to use condense, you can use cool the steam. C. Water cause solid X in U-tube change color, so we put a solid X to confirm the presence of water. Name the solid X and state the color change seen. In our syllabus, we learned two indicators to test the presence of water. If anhydrous cobalt 2 chloride, it will form from blue to pink. The second indicator you can use is anhydrous copper 2 sulfate. The color will change from white to blue when water is present. The student tries to use apparatus figure 1.2 to pass the gases through acidified aqueous potassium manganate 7. There is an arrow in apparatus in figure 1.2 so that the gases produced will not pass through the acidified aqueous potassium manganate 7. D. Identify the item of apparatus label Y in figure 1.2. This is a boiling tube. On figure 1.2, draw a circle around the arrow in the apparatus. If they want to test the gas for potassium manganate 7, they need to ensure the tube is inside the potassium manganate. So this part is the one that have arrow. F. The arrow in apparatus figure 1.2 is corrected. The student observed that aqueous potassium manganate 7 change color from purple to colorless. Suggest why this color change occurred. The test is given at the back, so I extracted info. Potassium manganate 7 change color from purple to colorless to show the presence of sulfur dioxide. Suggest why the color change, because the sulfur dioxide's presence. Because sulfur dioxide is released when they're burning this fuel. Question number 2, we go for the investigation question. You need to analyze the info, extract the info, and sketch graph. The question says, the student investigate the temperature change when 5 cm length of cold magnesium ribbon react with excess dilute sulfuric acid. The student does 5 experiments. Experiment 1, they rinse the burette with distilled water and then dilute sulfuric acid. After rinse, they put dilute sulfuric acid. Fill the burette with dilute sulfuric acid. Run some of the dilute sulfuric acid out of the burette. So the level of dilute sulfuric acid is start from 0 cm cube mark. Use the burette to add 30 cm cube of dilute sulfuric acid to a boiling tube. Use a thermometer to measure the initial temperature. Record the initial temperature, add a coil of magnesium ribbon to the boiling tube. At the same time, start a stopwatch. Continually stir the content of the boiling tube using thermometer. After 1 minute, measure the temperature of the mixture in the boiling tube. Record the temperature. Then experiment 2, they refill the burette with dilute sulfuric acid. Run some of the dilute sulfuric acid. Use the burette to add 25 cm cube to the new boiling tube. Use thermometer, everything is the same. Then experiment 3. They use 20 cm cube, 15 cm cube, and 10 cm cube. So they are reducing the amount of dilute sulfuric acid and measure the temperature change. So this is the information they ask you to extract from here. So you just read the thermometer diagram for initial temperature. We check the initial temperature first. This is 21.0. This is 21.5. Then the thermometer of the temperature after 1 minute. Please use ruler to check the accuracy. Then the temperature increase. Like this, then we gain these 4 marks. And then use this info, we will sketch a graph. On the figure 2.1, complete a suitable scale on the Y and plot the results for experiment 1 to 5. Draw the line of best fit. The temperature increase maximum is 24. So we can write 5.0. Then it's just nice we can reach 24 degree. Then we can sketch one by one. Pan volume is 24. Okay, then from here we need to sketch the graph. We need to draw the best fit, and obviously this point is special, so we just ignore this point. Okay, make sure it's a smooth curve. So after we sketch this best fit line graph, we see some of the question, especially like question D, that says extrapolate the line of best fit on your graph in figure 2.1 to deduce the temperature increase if 33 cm³ of dilute sulfuric acid is used. So when it's 33 cm³, 7.25. So you can confirm the temperature change is around 7.25 or 7.3, depends on your smooth curve. Then there is one more question you need to analyze from this graph, which is E, that says the investigation is repeated using 2.5 cm length of coil magnesium. From 5 cm, it changed to 2.5 cm, means that the mass of magnesium is reduced. So they ask you to sketch a line to show the result you expect. Label the line E. We need to label a line that have lesser temperature increase from beginning to the end. So you don't know the relationship is either half or 1/3. So as long as your graph is below it and do not reach 0 degree, because no matter how they will still release the heat. Then we can have a look on C. They ask you to explain why the temperature change as the volume of dilute sulfuric acid change. So first thing we can confirm from the graph is going down. So volume increase, actually temperature decrease. Then you need to explain why this happened, because the same amount of energy is given out because acid is excess. No matter how many acids you add in, the amount of energy that released is the same, because magnesium itself is the limiting factor. They already confirm how many heat will release. But when you add more volume, then the heat need to distribute to more volume of acid. That's why the temperature change is reduced. So the thing that you need to say is same amount of heat energy is given out. Then F, give one reason why a burette rather than measuring cylinder is used. They always ask about burette and pipette because they are more accurate. Explain why the content of the boiling tube are stirred during each experiment to mix them. G, describe one change to the apparatus that will give more accurate results. Explain your answers. Since this experiment involves heat release, we need to try to reduce the heat loss. So that's why we can put insulator, insulate the boiling tube, so that reduce heat loss. Question number 3 is again the SWOT analysis. So all the information is already given. We just extract the information from the back. So they say student has two substance, solution A and solid B. Solution A is iron trinitrate. Record the expected observation. The student divides solution A into 3 approximately equal portions. The first portion, the student add ammonia dropwise and then in excess. So since here they have iron 3, then we refer back to iron 3. They add ammonia, so we refer to here. It's red-brown precipitate and insoluble in excess. So they ask you dropwise and excess. So dropwise, we copy this. Excess, we copy this. Insoluble, or we will say precipitate remained. Part B, to the second portion of solution A, the student add excess NaOH, which is this. The observation, again, is this form. And then again, it's insoluble and excess means precipitate will remain. So you just write red-brown precipitate. B2, to the product from B1, the student adds a small piece of aluminum foil. The the student warms gently the mixture, forms and tests any gas produced. So add aluminum foil warm is to test nitrate, which is this, and then ammonia will form. So what is the observation? Observation for ammonia gas is this. And then identify the gas produced is ammonia. C. To the third portion of solution A, the student adds about 1 cm cube of dilute nitric acid followed by a few drops of barium nitrate. Is this? They are testing the presence of sulfate. But here we do not have sulfate. That's why no white precipitate will form. So we just say no change. Then test on solid B. The table shows the test and the student's observation for solid B. They do a flame test on B, light green flame color. So we can confirm it's barium 2+. And then add the remaining solid B to dilute hydrochloric acid, test the gas. Effervescence colorless solutions form. Lime water turns milky. So we can confirm it forms carbon dioxide. So this is carbonate. So identify the gas produced in test 2. It is carbon dioxide. You can write in words or write CO2 because they just ask you to identify, not ask you to name it. Identify solid B, so we can confirm it's this and this, so it's barium carbonate. Question number 4. Duralumin is an alloy containing a mixture of aluminum, copper, magnesium, and manganese only. They give some information about the 4 metals in duralumin. They react with both of these acids. Copper does not react in HCl. Aluminium do not react with nitric acid. So they ask you to plan an investigation to find the percentage by mass of aluminium in the sample of duralumin. Your plan must include how you calculate the percentage by mass of aluminium in duralumin. So we know duralumin, we can find the mass. Then how to find the percentage as long as we know how to get the mass of aluminium. So to get the aluminium, remove this. We need to let them react with dilute nitric acid. And then this reaction, we add dilute nitric acid, we need to warm a bit because if not, it reacts very slow at room temperature with copper. So we need to warm the reaction so that at last it only left aluminium. Then we filter it. Then we rinse it to ensure we remove any other contaminant or any other substance, only left aluminum. Then we can measure mass of aluminum. And the mass of duralumin we already have at the beginning, we times 100%. Then we know what is the percentage of aluminum. Then do we need to use dilute hydrochloric acid? Actually, no. Dilute hydrochloric acid is for you to find the mass of copper. But this question do not request for that. So just ignore it. Then we write it out. So just like this, then you know what is the percentage of aluminum in this duralumin. This is the end of the paper. I hope you learned something and all the best in your exam. See you in the next class. Bye bye.